this love pain. Anybody got a pill like a pop for this love pain? Anybody got a prayer like a session for this love pain? Yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription? Yeah, for this love pain. Anybody got a pill like a pop for this love pain? Anybody got a prayer like a session for this love pain? Yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription?
Good morning. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good night. Everything's gonna be all right. Yes, it is, y'all, because today is Friday, and I'm back over here. Hey, Ruby, how you doing? So I hope you're doing well, you and your family. And if you are new to the broadcast, please give StreamYard permission for me to see your comments, because I would love to see your comments and interact with you during this broadcast. And also, please like and share this video with someone you think may need to hear this. I'm doing fantastic, Ruby. Thank you. So I'm going to be a little serious here today. It's a topic that not a lot of people talk about, because I don't know, I guess it has a stigma to it, because people, there's so much out there that says, if you're not depressed, you just need to do this, you need to do that. But you can't dismiss someone's feelings or what they're going through because you're not going through it, or because you don't think that they should. One of the things I want to talk about is because I was looking at a documentary the other day about depression. And I've also been through a whole bunch of personal development and all this kind of stuff, and where people are saying, well, all you have to do is this, this, and this. Well, sometimes it doesn't work for everybody. And I found that in the things that I was looking at, researching this, is a lot of times, about 9 out of 10 times, the people who are found to be depressed and suicidal are the people that you would least expect to do that. It's those people that are called the strong ones. Oh, she's so strong, or he's so strong, and they're always helping other people, and they're the happiest person. They always have a smile on their face, and blah 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 blah, all of that, right? But sometimes what those smiles are hiding, or what their strength is hiding, is depression underneath. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case all the time, but sometimes it is, because people with depression sometimes don't even realize they're depressed, because they are doing so much to hide it. They're taking care of this person, they're laughing all the time, or at least they are giving that false giggle. Sometimes people just smile, just, oh, I'm okay. Yeah, sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So this is called, check on your strong friends and family too. Not just the ones that appear to be depressed. Because, yeah, you want to be there for them, because you basically know that they are, right? That they're sad, or something's going on with them. But those people that appear to be so strong that, you can't break their armor and all that kind of stuff, sometimes they need help too. And if you're really close to that person, you can tell those subtle differences in their attitudes, in the way they interact with you, or in the way they interact with people. Because I know sometimes strong people can, they're like go-getters. They're going. But when they get home, or when they're by themselves, it's like they're completely deflated. And studies show that people who are depressed sometimes don't even realize they're depressed themselves. They start losing interest in stuff and they don't really know why. Man, I used to like to do that. I don't know why I don't like to do that anymore. Oh, well, I don't like to do that either. Oh, well, I don't like to do that either anymore. Why is that? I used to love that. And then they put on a happy face for everybody else. Hey, how you doing? And then, oh yeah, if you need any help, I'm here. And they are. But for them, that's just a mechanism for coping. And I'm not saying that that's everybody, but sometimes you have to check, because there are some signs, because people appear to be strong and charismatic and energetic and fun, and they're not people that go around complaining about a whole lot of things. So you can't tell in that vein, right? But they typically, what they do is they keep their problems to themselves. So their outward appearance is like, ooh, yeah, man, I wish I was that person. Ooh, I wish I had that energy. Ooh, I wish I was that happy, blah, 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 right? But they may be hiding something. There are some signs of depression that you can look for that you may be able to help someone you know. So I'm going to just read these off because I wrote them all down. And keep in mind, though, you're not a mental health professional. I mean, if you are, great. But if you're not a mental health professional and they need deeper help than you can provide, maybe you can look up some resources for them. But for your part, to just be there, be a shoulder for them, an ear for them to talk to, and without judgment. See, that's another thing about people with depression, especially strong people. They typically don't tell friends and family that what's going on with them because they're afraid of being judged. Oh, well, I don't know why you get over it, girl, or get over it, man. Oh, you can get over that. That's nothing. And to them, it's you're dismissing how they're feeling. And so they're not going to tell you again. They're not going to tell you again because they don't feel that they can come to you with that issue. So here are some signs that you or someone you know may be depressed. Okay. Number 1, appetite and weight changes, whether it's up or down. Sometimes it's very severe. It's hot in here. And people, they don't even realize why they're eating a whole lot or why they stopped eating. It's just a reaction to that depression. And for them to figure out what's going on with them, instead of doing that, their weight or their appetite changes. Number 2, changes in sleep habits. Either they're sleeping more or they're sleeping less. A lot of times it's less because their brains are like going. But then again, there could be those other ones that are sleeping so much. You're like, wow, you're getting a lot of sleep. Oh, well, I'm just sleeping a little bit more. I'm just having a me day, or whatever it is, whatever excuse that they give, their sleep habits are changing. Now, these are obvious: alcohol or drug use. You notice that, and sometimes they may not be obvious. Maybe just they might be sneaking a drink here and there, or taking a pill here and there to help them recharge, or whatever it is that they whatever excuse that they give. But they have an increase in one or the other, or sometimes both. Fatigue. They're tired all the time. And they even notice it, but they figure, oh, well, maybe it's because I'm working too hard. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. But they're tired all the time. And sometimes, all right, Ruby, I'll see you later. And sometimes when somebody's really tired like that, it's a sign of depression. Number 5, forced happiness. They have to pretty much put on their happy face. It's not something that's natural. It's not something that's coming natural to them. It's something that they're forcing. They're putting it out there. Hey, and they really have to prepare to be around people because they have to force that happiness. Number 6, they're less optimistic than others, or less optimistic than usual. Maybe you heard them say something a little bit pessimistic. that they normally wouldn't say. It might just be one or two times, but you notice it because you're their friend or you're their family, and you know that they're a different type of person usually. But now you're hearing them being a little less optimistic and more pessimistic on the pessimistic side. Loss of concentration. They're easily distracted. They don't seem to be, everything seems to be in disarray in their life. But on the outside, you think they are the best thing since sliced bread because they got their life together. But in their private life, not so much. So if you're a close friend, you would see this. All of a sudden, they got junk. Maybe they were a neat person. All of a sudden, they got junk everywhere. That may be a sign of depression. Disinterest in hobbies or other activities. Well, if they start turning down invitations to maybe to dinner or something that you guys did together or something like that, and they do it more often, and they say, you know what, I'm just not interested in that anymore. I'm not interested in that, and I'm not interested in that. Then they may sound like, oh, well, this is just the most natural thing in the world. I'm just changing. But it could also be, and it could be that they're just changing. I'm not saying that all of these are, concrete things that somebody might be depressed, but they are cumulative because sometimes a lot of these come into play. Physical pain and health disorders. They're in pain a lot more than they used to be. Their health, they keep having to go to the doctor, or, they're all of a sudden, maybe they work out a lot and they've been working out their whole life, and all of a sudden they're just really sore and so or in pain, a lot of pain from maybe stomach pains or things like that. Being angry or irritable. Maybe you say something and they snap at you. They normally wouldn't do that, but they're doing it now, and you're wondering, God, well, what happened? What happened to you? And maybe they express more road rage. A lot of people with depression express road rage. A lot of the people that are trolls on social media, a lot of these people are depressed. They are, maybe they have no life, or maybe they are the person that other people perceive as being strong, and they just feel that saying mean things to other people is a release for them as far as their depression is concerned. So sometimes, you just ignore those people, but sometimes you want to check on your strong friends if they suddenly decide to start being very, very irritable with you. Low sex drive. Now, most of the time, you're probably not going to notice this about your friend or your family member, but if they are your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, and all of a sudden their sex drive is really, really low, it might be depression. And sometimes what happens in a marriage or in a relationship is that when one person's sex drive is low, the other person feels like it's that they don't want them anymore. And it may not even be that. It may be that person is depressed, and maybe you could, instead of making it about you, you make it about them and talk to them about it and say, well, what's going on? Is there anything I can do? And don't make it about just getting them to the point where they have a higher sex drive, because that's not going to help. Talk to them about it. What's going on? What's happening? And if their answer is, I don't know, then maybe they need some help, deeper help than you can give, but maybe they need some help. And some of the causes of depression could be genetics. Some depression is inherited. It's a genetic thing. Biological or chemical imbalances. Maybe it's a medication thing. Maybe they've been taking some medication. All of a sudden, their bodies are not in harmony with this medication anymore. So now it's creating an atmosphere of depression with them. So, or hormonal. Now, a lot of times this is in a lot of women that are going through menopause. because menopause is a hormonal change. And women who have menopause tend to get depressed. They tend to get angry. They tend to get irritable. And if that's the case, it can be easily fixed through, going and seeing their gynecologist and, having them suggest some different things that they can do. Not necessarily medications, because sometimes the medications make it worse. I personally never took the hormones because I just didn't feel like it was right for me. But I did go through a bout of that, those up and down hormonal emotions, and it was depressing because I didn't know what was going on with me. So if that's your wife, or even some men go through it too, but if that's somebody that get them to the right person so they can get some help. But if you are the shoulder that they need to cry on or they need to talk to, then just be that, and not without judgment. Don't start judging people because they have a different mental state than you do. Another cause could be trauma or stress. A lot of PTSD out there. And we just celebrated Memorial Day for the veterans. A lot of them have PTSD because they've gone through a lot of trauma. I mean, I can't even imagine going through that. And nurses, medical professionals, especially after COVID, a lot of these people were working 16, 18 round the clock hours in a hospital where there were people dying. So in any situation with a nurse or a doctor, people die all the time. And so but people don't consider that PTSD, but it actually is. And if you're looking at it from that standpoint, both our veterans and our medical professionals all need that support, that help, that mental help. And so their depression may be based on that trauma or that stress. Personality traits. Some people have low self-esteem. Creates depression because they don't really think that they're worthy of anything, and so it depresses them. They could be a pessimist. They could not think anything's true, or they're just born that way. They're just pessimist, and being in that state of mind will create depression. There was this one person that I knew that just would not give up their past. They were completely fixated on what happened to them in their past. And so they were a pretty miserable person. And so it could create depression in them. And so you really have to really look at those people and, help them out as much as you can. Illnesses. Some people have illnesses and that are incurable. Or like people with cancer and things, those incurable diseases, or diseases that are also incurable but may not be fatal, but they're incurable. There's no cure for them. And so sometimes knowing that they have those diseases can cause depression in people, and they need support just like you would if something was going on with you. So check on your strong friend. Check on those other people that you see those obvious signs of, but also check on the people that you consider really strong, because they may need you, and they will not reach out their hands to ask for help because they feel that their persona is this strong person. They were always the person that was there for other people. So, why I can't let anybody know that I got problems going on, right? And so if they're that type of person, maybe you need to reach, and you notice some things, maybe you need to just reach out to them. Because if you're really close to that person, you can kind of notice things. You can kind of notice that, oh, they're laughing and they're talking, but when they're by themselves, all of a sudden the smile is gone. It's just it's a completely different face. And so when you catch them doing that, just go over and, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Especially when they think nobody's watching. And that's usually how a strong person will handle that, is that when they think nobody's watching, the smile disappears, or that they look completely like drained and deflated when they think nobody's watching. So talk to them without judgment. Again, please don't judge people for what's going on in their head, because you hear so many people talk about, well, you can get over that if you do this, and this. That may be true. There are some mechanisms that you can use. Meditation is really good. Affirmations are really good. But sometimes some people have deeper problems than those things can solve. And so they might need a mental health professional. And if you know that, say somebody's been going through, because I've seen a lot of people, I've been in a lot of personal development programs and groups and things like that. And I've seen a lot of people say, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I still haven't had my breakthrough, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because they need deeper help than what they can give themselves. Yes, you can talk to yourself, give yourself some positive affirmations every single day. You can listen to audios, you can do all that stuff. But if you find that it's not helping, get some mental health, get a mental health professional. It is okay to go to a psychologist, a therapist, or psychiatric professional, because it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It just means that you need a little bit more help than what you can give yourself. You can talk yourself into a lot of things. And sometimes it's just a matter of having a third party also reiterate to you those positive affirmations, that positive self-talk, and remind you of who you really are. Because we're all strong in some way, but sometimes that strength is depleted by other outside forces. And sometimes, even though we try our best to ignore those, they may be too much for us to handle. Or if you see your friend or family member who's supposed to be that strong person and they just need somebody to talk to, give them that shoulder, give them that ear, without judgment. Be that friend or family member who just listens sometimes. You don't have to give your opinion. You don't have to do anything. Just sit there and listen to what they have to say. Because a lot of times they're not going to complain, but they might say, well, I don't know what's going on. Something's going on because blah, 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 blah. And then if you notice some of those signs that I talked about, just tell them, say, well, maybe you can go and talk to a therapist. But I'm always here if you need me. There you go. You being supportive, but you're also referring them to someone else who may be better equipped to handle that. So if they ask for your opinion, refer them to someone, because that's the right thing to do. Sometimes the best possible service you can give somebody is to refer them to someone who can help them better than you. You don't have to know everything, but you can be that support system. So check on your so-called strong friends. They need you too. Okay. All right. So I am going to go now, and thank you so much for watching. And thank Ruby. She's gone now, but I will talk to you guys on my next video, and I hope you got something out of that. Or if you want to refer this video, like and share, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Please like and share this video to someone who may need it. And I will talk to you guys later. But in the meantime, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys so much. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.